get right to the action of the beginning of Week 17 and some of these other games on Sunday, okay? We go to last night. Brock Purdy and the 49ers hosting Caleb Williams and the Bears. 3 minutes left in the first quarter. Chicago down 14-7. The offenses were on fire. Williams goes deep to Luther Burton III for the touchdown. Perfect throw from Williams.
Luther Burton had an amazing day. Yards after the catch, this big, huge run. And Christian McCaffrey is the guy that's been making plays for the San Francisco 49ers, carrying them. He had a big night on the ground and through the air.
49ers took back the lead there. Third quarter now, game tied at 28. And Brock Purdy feeling the pressure. Purdy rolling out to his left. He makes the defender miss. And then he actually did dance. Some of his touchdown celebrations were unreal. I'm not sure if people realize he had that kind of swag. San Francisco up 35-28. Ensuing Bears drive. First play of the fourth quarter. DeAndre Swift finds the lane, takes off for the touchdown.
It wasn't a ton of carries for the Chicago Bears back, but DeAndre Swift was explosive all night.
Under 2.5 to play. 49ers down by 3. 2nd and 10 at the Bears 38. And Purdy hits Jawan Jennings over the middle. He takes off for the touchdown.
I got to give Collinsworth some love. He talked about that dig behind those backers. They hit it.
How about Williams right here, finding Colston Loveland. The offenses, again, just kept clicking. 13-yard gain and a first down. Chicago moving the chains. 2 plays later, 21 seconds left to play. Williams hits Loveland. Laterals.
This is such a big play by Diamador Lenore to get this tackle inside the triangle. Now it leads to this last play. And once Caleb Williams started to scramble around, you knew it was going to be difficult to complete this pass with all those eyes on it.
The 49ers get a big win, 42-38. More on that in just moments. But first, let's hear from Kyle Shanahan on his quarterback.
I thought Brock had a hell of a game again. Brock's been playing his ass off, made some huge plays in this game, kept some drives alive with his legs, made some off-schedule plays, and was an assassin out there throughout the whole day.
I agree. Okay, since Brock Purdy returned to the 49ers lineup in Week 11, they're a perfect 6-0, joining the Jaguars and Texans as teams without a loss since that time. The San Fran offense has been elite, scoring nearly 36 points a game. That's tops in the NFL. They're scoring on more than 40% of their offensive drives. That's crazy. Dan, as you watched their performance, what made Purdy's work on that final drive so special?
Well, I think overall, he's in that rare group where he plays so far ahead timing-wise, and the game looks so slow for him in some of the plus above the X's and O's broken plays that it's that ideal kind of grouping with him. And then if you go to the final game winner, no one throws more blind throws. So Kyle likes to make what I call the 5-spot dot, where he gets those 5 spots in a dice kind of pass game progression. Now, Brock wants to throw the in at the bottom, but he just stares and stares and stares, and you sit there and go, why are Chicago's 3 middle defenders taking the tight end and voiding the middle of the field? And then that's the blind superpower throw ability of Brock Purdy. The back angle, just watch the stripe on his helmet. It never stops staring to his right, even though he knows he's throwing to the left. And that's how he's throwing to a spot. He never looks at Jennings. And I know Brock has talked about kind of making those blind throws. Stafford is obviously the king of the no look, but I think Brock Purdy's the king of the blind thrower. He just throws it to a spot, and that's how Jennings catches a dig and goes for yards after the catch for the game winner. But that combination of game slow for him in the plus plays, but he's so fast in the anticipation world, I think it really puts him in it feels like a class of his own.
Yeah, he really plays like he has total faith in the structure of the offense, and then he has the ability to elevate that structure in moments with his legs, throwing downfield. We talked about this game on Friday, and I told Ryan, I felt like to me it was the San Francisco 49ers playing the old San Francisco 49ers, but actually Kyle Shanahan kind of went with a throwback game plan, I felt. Throughout the night, it was a lot of under center, condensed formations, run action with some sort of motion tagged onto that, and then bombs off of play action. The Niners do not use a lot of play action. This is a common misconception around them, but they've doubled their average in this game, 40%. Brock was 9 for 12, 131 yards, 2 touchdowns, consistently take advantages of either the zone voids they got from the linebackers cheating up or the one-on-ones from the safeties playing the run. It was just kind of a vintage Kyle Shanahan night. And for Ben Johnson, who was so masterful on the other side, probably had to sit back and watch and say, dang, they look a lot like we do.
Right, and it's a shame one of those offenses had to lose because they were both amazing. And Brock Purdy, look, he's got a 3-game stretch here. Monday night against the Colts, Sunday night last night, and it's going to be Monday night next week against the Seahawks. first 2 games of that stretch, 8 touchdowns, ran 2 in, and his offense has scored 90 points. Tell me when you want your players to step up. I'll take it in December. This play here, 8 seconds, running, dancing, all of it, was absolutely fantastic. And then when the defense needed to make a play, I know they didn't have a great night, and I know we're going to say they can be scored on. They made a good play. They stopped him. They contained him. The hook and ladder, they played well. So Saleh's defense has been ravaged by injuries, but they made the plays when it mattered, and they've got Brock Purdy playing the best football of his career.
Ben Johnson is an absolutely phenomenal coach, and God forbid he gets a defense like Kyle Shanahan has been afforded a few years while he was in San Francisco. The Chicago Bears are here to stay.
Part of it also, too, though, Caleb Williams has made 5 to 10 throws this season
100%.
that no one can make
The one we
better.
just showed to Loveland where he's rolling to his
Crazy.
right, like
That's
that
an
is
insane
40
pass.
yards downfield, and it levitates. I mean, the
he's-
arm strength is crazy.
He's different. I know he doesn't have the body type of some of these quarterbacks with these magnificent arms, but Caleb Williams has been a 5-star. He's a Heisman Trophy winner. The talent level is high, and Ben Johnson is starting to get the most out of it.
A reminder that on our air on ESPN and ABC, we will have these 49ers against the Seahawks in prime time, 8 p.m. on Saturday. That's coming your way, and we are so excited to broadcast it. Adam Schefter is with us throughout the next 2 hours as well. And Adam, some key injuries in that game across the league, but let's start with Luther Burden III. What do we know about him?
Well, at the end of the game, Luther Burden was carted off. Obviously, some concern there. But it turned out to be a quad injury, and the initial test showed it did not appear to be serious. He's undergoing more tests today, but I think the Bears are fortunate, and I think he'll be ready for the playoffs after a scare at the end of Sunday night's game. Meanwhile, in that same game, the 49ers lost their left tackle, Trent Williams, to a hamstring injury, exited the game, and did not return. That's problematic for Saturday night's big game against Seattle. We'll see whether Williams can make it back. That could be difficult to do at his age, in his condition, but obviously he's invaluable to that team. One player who has a real chance to make it back for Saturday night is the 49ers standout tight end George Kittle. They didn't even test his ankle this past week. He was inactive on Sunday night after suffering that sprained ankle 1 week ago tonight in Indianapolis. But the 49ers believe there's a real chance that Kittle will be able to play on Saturday night against the Seattle Seahawks. And there's a real chance that Josh Allen won't play on Sunday. The Buffalo Bills play the Jets. He's dealing with a foot sprain. Their playoff position essentially is secure. Why would you want to risk Allen? It might be time to get him a bye that he wouldn't have the next week in the playoffs before the Bills have to go on an extended playoff run to try to make the extended run that they're looking for.
Yeah, it makes sense for sure. Adam, with a bunch more news throughout the show. You don't want to miss it. We're with you again until 5 p.m. leading into Monday Night Football here